Coming to your mat, coming down onto your back, any comfortable position. All right. So, as all of you already know, I'll just remind you, listen to your body. Only do what's comfortable for you. If we come into a pose that doesn't feel good, please come out. Maybe you need to back out of a pose or just come out of it completely. So, ahimsa, nonviolence. Let's be kind and compassionate to ourselves, to our bodies, being kind and compassionate in ways where not only do we not push our bodies too far, we also are kind to ourselves in our mind. Know that every day is different. Even just before we came to class today, I was talking to my husband about the beloved cow face pose, and I was explaining the arms, and like, I can't even do them today, which is okay, right? So every day is different, right? So let's start here by checking in with the body. Perhaps you take a moment to scan your body, starting from the crown of your head and slowly making your way down. And once you get to a place, or if you get to a place that you feel is holding tension, maybe is feeling uncomfortable today, maybe you're feeling some kind of emotion there, anything at all, just take a moment to stay with it, to notice it. And to breathe through it. So as we breathe through it, we just take deep inhales in through the nose, maybe into the diaphragm, and long, slow exhales out. So not trying to push it away or change it, just notice it. Know that it will change on its own. It will start to maybe soften. And it may not happen during our practice. It might just be something that happens later. But be okay with what's there today. Non-attachment. Maybe you soften into that part of you. If there isn't any part of you calling out for your attention, just maybe pick a place in your body to focus on. Perhaps you send love and compassion to that part of you. Maybe you return to this practice as we go through our class today. Breathing through whatever it is that comes up. So we don't want pain, but there might be a little bit of challenge or discomfort. Breathing through it, allowing it to move at its own time. So let's take 2 more rounds of breath here. And then making some small movements with your fingers and toes. If you aren't already lying on the earth, coming down to the earth, to your back. Right. So let's start here, bringing the feet wide on the mat and windshield wipering the knees from side to side. Just nice and gentle. Take your time, maybe even kind of hang out with a twist. The legs stay over to one side for maybe a few rounds of breath, 1 or 2 rounds of breath. And then they come back to center and over to the other side. Again, just kind of checking in. It's gonna be a nice little twist to stretch out the front of the thigh, that top thigh especially. Maybe you don't feel it there, I do. That doesn't mean you'll feel it too. All right. So one more time here. All right, and then let's walk our feet towards each other. Let's actually come into a banana pose. So bringing the legs out long on the earth. If it's uncomfortable for your shoulders or your upper back to come into this pose, feel free to just work on the lower part of the body. So perhaps the arms come up and back behind you, fingernails towards the earth. Stretching out nice and long, and then allowing your arms and shoulders to slide over to the right side. We're keeping the hips flat on the earth. And then we're going to slide the legs over towards the right side as well. Maybe the right hand grabs the left wrist to pull a little further. And perhaps that left ankle crosses over the right. Notice how you feel in this pose. What sensations are coming up for you? Are you able to soften into this shape? Okay, one more round of breath here. And then coming back to center, arms are still behind you if that's where they're comfortable. And just check in and notice what you feel. Notice the difference from one side of your body to the other. Okay, let's reach nice and long one more time. And then head, shoulders, arms come to the left side. Hips stay on the earth, legs come to the left side. Perhaps the left hand grabs the right wrist to find a little more length. And perhaps the right ankle crosses over the left. Notice your breath. Are you able to take deep inhales in through your nose? And long, slow exhales out. As you breathe, are you able to feel your right side expand? And then come back together. One more round of breath here. And then releasing and coming back to center. Notice sensations you feel in your body. All right, and then let's bring the feet to the earth, about hip distance apart, knees are bent, arms come down by your sides. Reposition your back flat on the earth. We'll find some moving bridges here. So pushing your feet into the earth to lift your hips, squeeze your inner thighs, squeeze your glutes, and then exhale to lower. Take your time here, moving your hips. If you want to make it a little bit more challenging, allow the arms to come up and back behind you as your hips come up towards the sky. And then hips lower, arms come back down by your sides. All right, so the next time your hips come up towards the sky, I invite you to keep them there. Keep pushing the feet into the earth, squeeze the inner thighs, squeeze the glutes, and then just move the arms. The arms come down and then arms come back up and overhead. A little bit of strengthening here for the legs, maybe even glutes a little bit too. All right, so one more round of breath here. And then very slowly lowering the hips down towards the earth. No sudden movements here. We want the back to adjust to the flatness of the earth. All right, and then let's bring the feet wide, windshield wiper the knees. Gently rolling over to one side, whichever side is calling for you, and then slowly making your way up to seated. All right, so from our seated, we're actually going to come into a shoulder stretch here. Just so you know, I'm going to be paranoid all class because last Thursday we kept losing internet connection. So I'm going to be staring at the screen. All right, so we're going to bring our feet to the earth and we're going to bring our hands behind us. So you're going to go only as far as you feel comfortable. If you need blocks, feel free to grab blocks. If turning your fingers forward towards the front of the mat is not comfortable, maybe turn the wrists or the fingers sideways. Okay, so turn the fingers forward, shoulders roll back and down the spine, sitting up nice and tall. And then perhaps you slowly walk your arms back. Still sitting up tall, we don't want to collapse in on the shoulders. And then depending on your body, if you have a little bit more mobility in your shoulders today, maybe you slide the hips down. You might even be feeling it more in the wrists. Just depends on what's going on today. Notice what sensations are coming up and can you breathe through it? No pain, but maybe discomfort. One more round of breath here. And then you're slowly going to make your way back, bringing the hands forward. All right, maybe we roll out our wrists here while we're taking care of our arms. It's rolling in both directions. All right. So then we'll bring our feet mat distance apart, knees are bent, hands are behind us, maybe fingers are tented if that's more comfortable for you. Windshield wipering the knees from side to side. Okay, so then you're going to allow your legs to drop over towards the right side. You may have turned to face one direction. So find your sits bones here. As you do that, make sure you activate your feet as you move around. All right, so you should have right leg in front of you. And we're gonna come into a side bend, actually, bringing the right hand to the earth. Left arm reaches up and over. Find length along the left side body. And then inhale, come back to center. Exhale, left hand comes down to the earth or your leg, right arm reaches up and over. Inhale, let's bring both arms up to center. Exhale, hands come down in front of the right leg. Activate the right leg and start to fold forward. Only go as far as you feel comfortable. Slowly walking the hands back, coming back to seated. We're going to find a bit of a twist, so keep that right foot active. Left hand comes to the right knee, right hand comes beside you, behind you, wherever's comfortable. Inhale to lengthen and exhale to turn to the right. All right, inhale to lengthen the spine, exhale to come back to center. One more pose that's an option for you. Maybe you'd rather come into the side, bend towards the right side instead, or maybe right hand comes to the earth. We come up onto the knees, arm reaches up, maybe back behind you, joy pose. And slowly coming back down, coming to center. And then we're going to windshield wiper the knees again. This time allowing your knees to drop over towards the left side. Activate your feet as you find your sit bones. Comfortable place to sit. We'll find that side body stretch. Left hand to the earth, right arm reaches up and over. So go over as far as you feel comfortable or as far as you have space. I have a wall. On your next inhale, come back to center and exhale, coming over to the other side. Right hand to the earth, left arm reaches up and over. Inhale, coming back to center. Let's bring both arms up. Exhale, hands come down to the earth. Activate the left foot. Hinge forward from the waist. Maybe you walk the hands forward. So a bit of a stretch here along the outer left thigh, maybe. And when you're ready, slowly using your hands to help you come back up to seated. So again, option for you can be a side body stretch, reaching to the left, or maybe it's joy pose, left hand to the earth, come up onto the knees, right hand reaches up, maybe back. Send the hips forward. Slowly making your way back down, back to center. Ooh, we've got a twist. Okay. So our twist, right hand to left knee, left hand out to the side. Inhale to lengthen and exhale to turn. Maybe you walk the left hand behind you for a little more of a twist. Inhale to lengthen the spine and exhale to come back to center. Windshield wiper the knees. All right, and then making your way into a tabletop pose. So wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. And then let's bring that right leg long behind us, toes come down to the earth, and find a bit of a rocking motion here to stretch out the calf. I don't know if you can hear the kids outside my house. All right, so we're gonna take the right leg, cross it over towards the left side, toes come to the earth, and then make a C shape by looking over your left shoulder towards the right. Nope, the left shoulder towards, yeah, the right foot. Oh my goodness. All right, slowly bring that leg back, bring the back back to center, I guess. We're gonna find a little bit of a variation of a side plank here. So right foot comes flat on the earth. We're gonna make sure the left wrist is underneath the left shoulder. If you need to, you can kickstand that left foot back behind you for balance, or maybe just curl the toes under. Right hand reaches up and maybe over towards the front of the mat. Find length here. Trying not to collapse in on the left arm. Maybe you lift that back leg. And slowly bringing the leg back down. And let's slowly make our way back into our tabletop pose. All right, and then into a child's pose, big toes together, knees apart, or knees together if that feels better for you. Softening here, melting your heart down towards the earth. Releasing any tension that you feel in your body, especially in the shoulders and the neck. Okay, slowly making your way back into your tabletop pose. And then extending the left leg long behind you, toes come to the earth, and find that rocking motion, or perhaps you hang out in the stretch. All right, so remember you have options here for your wrists. If your wrists are starting to get mad at you, you can always grab blocks and hold the blocks, or you can come to fists instead. Also an option to come down onto the forearms, a little bit different, but still get the stretch. All right, we're gonna cross that left leg over to the right, looking over the right shoulder. Find length here along the left side body. Send that left side of the rib cage out to the side. One more round of breath. And then coming back to center, flipping the left foot to the earth. It's parallel to the back of the mat. Shifting your weight into your right hand. If you need to kickstand the right foot, reach the left arm up and over, find length. Feel a stretch if you can. So know that you can look wherever it feels comfortable for your neck. And then perhaps lifting the left leg up off the earth, activate the left foot, stretch the arm and the leg. Whew, nice and long. Gently lowering the foot to come back into your tabletop pose. Let's come into puppy from here. So in puppy, we keep our hips over top of our knees and then slowly walk the arms out long. If you need to, you can grab a block to place underneath your head, melting the heart down towards the earth. Taking deep inhales and long, slow exhales. All right, gently making your way back into your tabletop pose. And we'll come into a low lunge. Right foot comes forward between the hands. All right, arms reach up towards the sky, shoulders soften here. Let's bring the hands down towards the earth, to the inside of the right foot. Walk the right foot over towards the right side of the mat. Activate the right foot and then walk the hands over towards the top left corner of the mat. Maybe even cuts off the mat. So you're going to keep that right foot active. Try and keep it flat on the earth. Can't remember what this is called. Down dog lunge. I don't, it doesn't matter. If you want to make it a little bit more interesting, maybe you tuck the left toes under, pick up the left leg. Dropping that left knee, walking the hands back to center. Walk the foot back to center. Well, not quite center. Walk it back in. Our low lunge. Curl the back toes under, lift the back leg, squeeze the inner thighs. Maybe you stay here, or maybe you reach the arms up towards the sky. Know that you also have the option to come into warrior one instead of a high lunge or a runner's lunge, which is hands on the floor. One more round of breath here. And then hands come down towards the earth. Let's all come into a tabletop pose. Curl the toes under, downward dog. Softening the shoulders. Perhaps you pedal out the feet. Okay, let's walk our feet towards the front of the mat. Don't worry, I won't forget the other side. Forward fold. We still try not to. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Ready? Exhale, we're gonna come back into a chair pose. Send the tailbone down, shoulders roll back and down the spine. Let's find an open arm chair twist. So arms come out to the side and then turning towards the right side. Roll the left hip back. Inhale, come back to your chair, come back to center, sink the hips. And exhale, turning to the left. Inhale, come back to chair. Exhale, we're going to come down to seated. So it's up to you. You can follow me or you can come down to seated, however is comfortable. Slowly sending the hips down towards the earth. Can you come all the way down without hands touching the earth? All right, we're going to come into a boat pose. So feet are on the earth. Maybe it's just one foot that comes up off the earth. Maybe hands are behind you if you need to. Maybe it's both feet come up, squeeze the inner thighs. Perhaps the arms reach forward, sit up nice and tall. Try not to lean back. Maybe let's find a twist. Arms come up towards the sky, twist towards the right side, arms reach long. Drop a foot if you need to. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twist over to the other side. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, lower the feet. Bring the hands to the earth. Slowly lower to your back. All right, remember our bridge pose? We had our moving bridge. We'll find a bridge here. So feet are hip distance apart, knees are bent. Pushing your feet into the earth, lift the hips, squeeze the inner thighs. Squeeze the glutes. And up to you, arms can stay down by your sides. Maybe you grab a hold of the sides of the mat and pull out almost as if you're trying to rip the mat in half. Or maybe you bring the arms underneath you, clasp your hands. Arms under, rolling the shoulders under is what I meant to say. And see if you can send the hands down towards the earth. Send the hips up high, push into the feet. All right, if the shoulders are tucked, untuck the shoulders, release the side of your mat if you have it, slowly lowering your back down towards the earth. Allow the back to settle. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go from here into a standing forward fold. You can follow me or you can be like, I'm doing it my own way. All right, so we'll start first, all of us, if it's comfortable, hugging the knees in towards the chest. Maybe you find some movement in the knees or in the hips. Okay, here's how it's gonna work. Maybe. Sometimes I make it, sometimes I don't. All right, so no judgment, right? If you make it or if you don't make it. So we're gonna rock here a few times. And then you're gonna try and get momentum so that you can come up onto your feet, and then we'll come into a forward fold. Or you just meet me in a forward fold at the top of your mat. I guess it would have made more sense to come into a chair, but that's okay. Forward fold. Tangle your arms if you wish, or maybe you clasp hands behind your low back. Shoulders roll back and down. Arms reach up towards the sky. A round of breath here. Release the hands towards the earth. Take a bend in your knees and then step the right foot back, lowering the right knee to the earth. So we're in our low lunge here on the side. Squeeze the inner thighs as you rise. Check the front knee. All right, let's bring the hands down to the inside of the left foot. Walk the foot over to the left side. Keep that foot active. Hands walk over towards the top right corner of the mat. Maybe they come off. So we're keeping the left foot flat on the earth here. And if you want to, trying that variation by curling the back toes under, lift the back knee. Maybe even walking the hands out a little further if you find you can. My mat slips whenever I do this. I'm slowly going back. All right knee comes down to the earth. Slowly walking the hands back to center. We're going to walk that foot back into our low lunge. All right, curl the back toes under, lift the back knee, squeeze the inner thighs. So again, up to you. You can stay here, or maybe you keep squeezing the inner thighs, come up to a high lunge or warrior one. Roll the left hip back, right hip forward. Beautiful. Let's find that open arm twist, arms out to the side, turning towards the left side. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, hands come down to the earth. Let's step into tabletop. Or yes, back into tabletop, knees to the earth. Shift the weight forward, tuck the elbows, come all the way down. Let's find a baby cobra. Shoulders roll back and down the spine. Tuck the elbows, tops of the feet push down to the earth. Taking deep inhales, long, slow exhales. And gently lowering down towards the earth. Let's come into tabletop. And then into puppy pose one more time. Hips stay over top of the knees, walking the arms out long. If puppy pose sucks for you, feel free to come into child's pose instead. Do you need to send your breath somewhere? Do you need to send love and compassion somewhere? Slowly making your way back into your tabletop pose. And then we're gonna flip on over onto our backs. Okay, so some hip variation poses of stuff here on our back. So we'll find happy baby first. Feet come up towards the sky, knees are bent. Knees come out towards the sides of your body, grabbing a hold of the backs of the thighs, maybe the lower leg or the feet somewhere, activating the feet. So we just want to use our arms kind of like weights, pulling the feet a little bit or the legs, allowing the knees to come down a little bit further. And if you want, maybe you rock or find some sort of movement that feels good. Let's find a half happy baby holding on to the right side. Left foot comes to the earth. Maybe the knee stays bent, or maybe you extend the left leg long. Softening the right side, the right hip. Okay, let's come back into our full happy baby. And then dropping the right foot to the earth. Maybe the knee is bent. Maybe the leg comes out long. All right, let's release the left foot to the earth. We'll bring both feet to the earth, knees are bent. Okay, so next one is longhorn. So you can come into a variation. I will show you the variation, or you can come into the full longhorn. So to show you, we cross the right knee over the left. Draw the legs in closer towards us. Activate the feet. This is where the left hand finds the right shin, or that top shin. Maybe you slide the hand down towards the foot. If we go further than this and it's not comfortable for you, or maybe this is even uncomfortable for you, grabbing a hold of the right knee, drop the left knee to the earth. So a bit of a leg cradle. If that's still too much, and then it's right ankle over the left thigh. All right, so back to our longhorn here. Activating the left foot. Right hand comes to the left shin. Maybe you walk your hand down towards your foot. So the goal is to bring the shins so that they're parallel to the ceiling. Just the goal. Don't have to get there. Softening the shoulders. So lots of options here. You can always keep the hands by the shins. Maybe it's the leg cradle. I'm curious. Yesterday and Saturday, we were discussing cow face pose. I'm wondering what this is like. All right, one more round of breath. And then release here, release the legs. Let's keep the cross in our legs. We're gonna find that twist. So right knee is, oh, sorry. Always someone mowing the lawn when I'm teaching. Right knee is over the left, dropping the legs over towards the right side. Shoulders stay on the earth. If this twist doesn't feel right for you, feel free to come into another variation of the twist. One more round of breath. And then bringing the knees back to center. We're going to change the cross of our legs. So left knee over right knee. I remember what I was going to say earlier. We go to 7 o'clock today. Okay, so longhorn here. We're drawing the legs in closer, activating the feet. Right hand comes to left shin, maybe slides down towards the foot. Left hand to right shin. Maybe you find your leg cradle. Again, the goal is shins parallel to the ceiling. So we even want to send that tailbone down towards the earth. Softening the shoulders. Find your breath. So ahimsa, nonviolence. What variation of this pose feels the best for you in your body? Maybe it's even just coming out. That's okay. Because non-attachment, aparigraha. Doesn't matter if we come into the pose, doesn't matter what our pose looks like. The important thing is that we are here and we are breathing through whatever is coming up for us today. One more round of breath here. And then releasing the legs, keeping the cross of your legs, left knee is over right. Arms out to the side, dropping the legs over towards the left side. Maybe you look to the right, keeping both shoulders on the earth. Or you find your own twist. I don't know if I've mentioned to all of you here, I used to teach a restorative yoga class on Fridays at noon. And it was at Shangri-La, so it was the outdoor studio. We're out on the deck. And every Friday is when, at lunchtime, is when everyone decided to mow the lawn. It was a very relaxing, restorative class. Sometimes there'd be sirens going by from fire trucks. I've had storms out there before, covered deck. So it's hard for everybody to hear me. All right, one more round of breath. And I'm bringing the legs back to center. I'm crossing the legs. What do you need? One last pose or shape or movement, or maybe you come right into Shavasana. I had a joke for restorative yesterday and I forgot. I'm going to tell you all of it. I'll tell you all of it. All right. So the joke is, how many restorative yoga students, excuse me, how many restorative yoga students does it take to change a light bulb? Just one, but they all need 2 blocks, 4 blankets, and 3 bolsters. Mm. Okay, so once you find your way into Shavasana, returning to your breath. Taking deep inhales and long, slow exhales. Maybe one day I need to have a cheesy joke yoga class. All right, so we'll do a little bit of a meditation here. Yeah, we'll do this. A metta meditation or loving kindness meditation. All right, so taking a deep breath in And then let out all of the breath. Doing that 2 more times. Deep inhale and let out all the breath. Inhaling in. Exhale, let everything go. And take a moment to think about someone that you are thankful for. And breathe out compassion and loving kindness to that person. May they be well, happy, peaceful, and free. Think about someone that you feel neutral about, not good or bad. Maybe it's just someone you saw walking down the street. And on your next exhale, breathe out compassion and loving kindness to that person. May they be well, happy, peaceful, and free. Perhaps you think about someone that you feel challenged by in your life. And on your next exhale, breathe out compassion and loving kindness to that person. May they be well, happy, peaceful, and free. Now visualize our beautiful earth and imagine all the beings on the earth. Breathe out compassion and loving kindness to all beings on the earth. May they be well, happy, peaceful, and free. And last, bring your awareness to yourself. Breathe in compassion and loving kindness. Breathing out, saying to yourself, may I be well, happy, peaceful, and free. Noticing your inhale and your exhale. Making small movements in your fingers and toes. Rolling around wrists and ankles. Whenever you're ready, rolling over to one side, whichever side is calling for you. And then gently making your way up to seated. Once you get there, lowering or closing your eyes. Taking deep inhale and long, slow exhale. The light in me sees and honors the light in each and every one of you. That light is a place of peace, love, kindness, and compassion. When you are in that place in you and I am in that place in me, there is no difference and no distance between us. Together, we are the same. We are one. Thank you for joining me. Have a beautiful evening.